spotted out here immediately.
It's a good move by Storm to break smoke as they cross there. They're going to fight this.
They are indeed, and they had the disruption. They had the... Oh, that's not a great time.
All right, let me break this down. I think Invoker's going to die because there's... No, I'm just kidding. He's dead.
No, please, take it away with the play-by-play here.
They used all their spells, and the only thing left is Static Remnant, but he is very low and still stunned. Very dead. Very, very dead. That will be a first blood. The real question is who gets the kill?
That is the question. All right, break it down for me, percentage-wise. Who's going to get it?
I have no idea. Probably Shadow Demon Illusions or something. There is Flat Cannon also being used, so I don't know if they're going to get a response kill. Who got gushed? Shadow Demon's the guy that they're going to be focused on in response, but Invoker's going to die almost right away. He might not even get EMP off. If he gets EMP off, it'd be pretty good. Shadow Demon maybe dies.
Well, we're going to have to wait here in suspense as I guess there was a lot of ping going on for Ray Lalisa. But there's a character that we haven't seen a whole lot of. I know Husky likes this hero over in NA quite a bit, but we do get the Crystal Maiden, and you were saying that you're a fan of it.
I tend to win with her. I know her win rate's not great. I know she's criticized as support, but she's very good at winning lanes. She has really high base mana regen. She's got 1.9 per second with no points in her aura. When she gets her aura, it's an extra 1 mana per second, or sorry, 1.5 mana. So, and then at level 2, usually you get Frostbite with Crystal Nova right now. You have really strong nukes. It's 280 damage basically that you can do between your 2 nukes. And the other thing is with Frostbite, you can kill Enchantress creeps. This is why they picked it, because Enchantress is a hero that abuses your lane by running creeps at you. You Frostbite them, and it will get close to killing the creep by itself. So that alone, being able to offset Enchantress, could justify the hero pick. Not to mention she also gives mana for her squad, which is really good for heroes like Storm. Anyways, so yeah, only big negative is that Invoker counters Wraith King's mana pool. Enchantress might, or sorry, Crystal Maiden might be able to help offset. By the way, the most recent buff to her is that if you cast a spell, it gives allies are nearby mana, 6 to 24 mana per spell that you cast, depending on the amount of arcane aura. So hypothetically, she could fill her team's mana up a lot quickly, very quickly, to help offset the EMP as well. So there's some cool things about it, but it does have laning issues. If you get behind, it tends to be rough. But in terms of like securing range creeps while harassing heroes, there are few supports that are as good as her, to be honest. And another really good thing that he already accomplished, he landed Crystal Nova on 3 heroes. That means 3 heroes are going to have to deal with this attack speed reduction. 30 attack speed reduction is huge. It's like there's one less hero here right-clicking. So Invoker's going to die, and then we'll see if somebody else does.
Who's getting it, though? Ray Lalisa, it's a good start for that mid lane. Yarn, though, is getting chased here by Yuar. We're going to try to get that, and that'll be a kill going over to Ponlo. Ponlo, though, he's had to take those sprites early, and they do a lot of healing, but I'm not sure it's going to be quite enough. So he ends up falling. This is quite the bloodbath right off the bat. As now they'll turn their attention to Bloody 9, and that is a downside of Crystal Maiden. She is very, very slow. So she'll try to break some ankles, throws down that Crystal Nova. They'll take down Kezu.
Can any hero use nukes that often? Like, come on. That's 3 Crystal Novas. Stayed alive. All right, she's slow.
She had to use some mangoes.
She did. She ate 2 mangoes. She used a Fairy Fire, but they just got 3 kills. I'm super down. And that's the value of Nova. It's a pretty low cooldown ability. It's a giant range. When you cast it at max range, it hits multiple heroes. The uptime is huge. 4.5 seconds of slow. It's a really good skill. So she's going to use that gold to buy another salve and a mango to bring that back out to help stabilize the lane. The only downside is their laning mana is going to be worse, but CM's going to lane at like 30% into level 2. That alone is a really good start for their match, especially if he gets aura at level 2. In fact, he's actually not going to lane up against the Enchantress. Instead, they're going to use Shadow Demon to handle it.
That makes sense. They'd swap around just a little bit here, but do you see a lot of vision being placed out too for any sort of rotations that might come out early from the Radiant? But they're doing a decent job of harassing. Yarn and Ponlo actually just trading back and forth here.
This is a big mistake actually from Yarn, because he's got the camp's going to get spawned now. Ponlo is checking it, he does not see it, and it gets spawned. So now he's going to be able to enchant it later. But he had to retreat because he got too low earlier before that happened, so Ponlo doing a great job forcing him out. There's the salve able to heal up Yuar. Luki pretty low on mana, but he does get Arcane Aura now. Enchantress hitting level 2. Going to be very, very important for Sand King, especially with how the early laning stage went. He used 2 Burrow Strikes, that means he goes to lane with no mana. So having a CM in this case, with as much as they fought, it's going to be really helpful.
All right. checking in with that mid lane. I believe Lisa did get that first blood, so giving that little bit of an advantage here. But 7-1 currently on Storm and 3-1 over on Quinn.
It's pretty solid, I gotta say. But you have right clicks and you have spells to cast. Quinn does not have that same luxury. Lisa does have a kill. I don't know if he was only got the first blood.
He was the first blood.
Okay.
He got that on
Sick.
the Shadow Deep.
So he's got a bottle. He's already queuing up a magic stick as well. It's going to force Quinn to run and get the bot rune, which isn't too bad for him right now. His mana pool is a little bit low, so he's happy to grab that.
Denied.
Overall, a pretty solid start here for the side of DogChamp.
The only problem for them is this large camp that Enchantress Ponlo's been able to gain control of. They get zoned a little bit from this creep. There is a Wild Wing Ripper. This is not as good as it was before. It can like do gank stuff because you can Hurricane push some people, but as long as you don't turn into a gank at the same time, it should be. It's not that much damage. It's not like you hide it and do a tornado, and that's really obnoxious anymore. That's kind of gone. So.
Still have the toughness aura at least. Top lane though, they're gonna land the shackles over onto Crystal Maiden and take out Bloody Nine.
A little too out of position, so he ends up getting cleaned up, but he'll TP back to lane with lots of regen. As long as this doesn't happen like 1 or 2 more times, he should be okay. I'm sure he's helped a little bit in stabilizing the lane, but Ring of Health on Tide is going to offset a lot of that. So, and the other issue with CM is that if you do get disabled by a hero like Shaman, you almost always get killed. Your survivability a lot of times comes from attack speed reduction. See if Yarn is able to get a kill here. He runs out.
Sure, they have the Wild Wing does time out. Needs one more click.
Not enough.
No, not with the healing sprites too.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah, even if he gets 5 stacks there, it doesn't kill Enchantress. It would put him to low, maybe at like 40%, but not even close to full, so, or not even close to death. So a little mistake there. So far, both supports on the DogChamp side struggling just a little bit here. Bloody Nine gets gone on again. Top gets Gush. They're not going to follow up though. Good Nova lands on 2. They're going on Milan actually top with a stun, but oh yeah, Frostbite as well. This is actually maybe a kill.
Yep, he's gonna have to run away. Just pop the Fairy Fire.
He's got another Nova, but it's not going to be
No, I don't think he's gonna be able to catch him in time.
That's fine. It's a good little go. They didn't have to burn magic stick charges either, so it'll be fine.
Ponlo just sending his creeps over there to mess with Yarn.
Yeah, he's level 3 already, and this is the danger zone for Enchantress, because then your creep lasts for so long. Yarn's just going to have to run away from this. Again, I expect Enchantress to lane against the Crystal Main to lane against Enchantress, but they preferred to try to stabilize with CM. I guess Bloody Nine likes the hero.
I guess. Burst right? Coming out from Lukey, but you are taking decent amount of damage.
On the bright side, with SD being chased around so much, Lukey has had a pretty safe laning stage. He's got the double bracer and boots already, so he's survivable. It's just hard for SD to deal with the creep harass. I guess you just walk away from it in most cases, but the stack camps are really not that big of a deal for Sand King to contest, which is kind of nice. They might actually go on Ponlo here. Okay, no, they chose not to.
He's already popped those sprites just in case they thought about it. Top lane? Nope. Those shackles immediately canceled out here. Stone Big chasing after them. They've got the Frostbite over onto Ponlo, but not quite enough damage yet again.
As long as Wraith King doesn't die here, this is perfect, right? They're basically able to keep Milan low due to all the nuke that Crystal Maiden outputs, and all the extra mana too. Because if you cast 2 spells, that's an extra 12 for Wraith King on top of what the aura gives.
They have a Sentry Ward placed down here for vision on Lukey. Go for that Hadouken. Chase after Yarn over on the other side. Does pop those stick charges. Ponlo's going to be forced to go and use the sprites. They should have the vision on Yarn. They have the creep over there too. Now they'll turn their attention back to the lane. Slow down Lukey. They've got a rocket with his name on it. Boop. And down he goes.
Not good in that lane, unfortunately, but hey, I think Ponlo's doing a really, really good job. Definitely, I mean, MSS is a very good player, but compared to Ponlo, I think MSS's 5 is weaker, and I'm really seeing that this game. Like, Ponlo is really setting the tone for this lane with Enchantress here. Maybe it's just the teams they played, could have been that as well, but good for Ponlo so far. Definitely dominating the lane with Enchantress is what you expect, and now he's going to go gank towards the mid lane with the Centaur here. If there was a mid player here, but there's not.
We can spend a little time over here. Lisa having some stacks. It's going to take it, but Ponlo waiting patiently, does have that Centaur. They did have a lot of vision earlier. In fact, they had that one ward over on the cliff side, so we're able to perhaps spot out this movement. But they'll pincer over onto Yarn. They've got the disruption though. Buy a bit more time to wait patiently with that Centaur stomp. And look, there's a lot more team on their way. They should probably give okay, I was gonna say they probably give it to Quinn, but not Ponlo.
He's trying to pad his stats. 4-1-1. Excellent gamer so far here.
Imagine if you had played your Ponlo card.
Should have played my Ponlo card. You're so right.
It's alright, we all make mistakes. Hex coming out from Milan. They've got the Centaur. Not going to be able to quite land that stomp, though. It's about to time out anyway, so get a little bit of damage in.
Good attempt at pressure, but yeah, they're just basically zoning him out. This is actually kind of a good way to do it. You just keep sanking away from the creep wave, and it's really ends up being difficult for him to just do cheesy stuff. Sandstorm creep waves, clear them in the back lane, which instead he just gets completely zoned, maybe thinking about jungling, but it would be slow anyways, and it's easy for them to sap experience, so he'd rather just get to the creep wave and pressure in that sense. But for now, Yuar just gets all the farm he wants.
Gonna ball lightning forward over onto Kazu, but gonna have some time here. He's pretty tanky. The follow-up from Quinn, throwing out the Tornado EMP. Turned around. They should be able to get this kill on Bloody 9 very easily here. Yes, down he goes. And Quinn will get rewarded for his rotation to save Kazu.
Well, interesting. I guess the Kraken procced at a good time during the pull, I think, so they didn't get quite as much damage as they expected there, but they decided pretty quick that they weren't going to get it.
Luki going to realize that they indeed have vision of him in that sandstorm. He's going to start channeling up the epicenter. It's not really going to matter too much.
Oh my god, he did it!
Luki!
Oh my god. There it is. I can't believe it worked.
Dota. Woo!
He didn't even attack Yuar. He was just like, all right, that guy's definitely dead. Oh man, what a play. That was really close though.
Middle lane, little setup, and tried to finish off Yarn. Not going to be able to have quite enough damage.
Yo, what a moment. That was...
Dude, I love that Ponlo and them also tipped him. Like, damn, dude. Yeah. Respect.
That was big. I'm a little sad that he's only level 7. I thought I was going to look at him, he'd be like level 25 already or something like that after that double kill, but he clears the large camp, he escapes now, going to go back to heal, doesn't get punished. He's going to have Blink Dagger, like, by the time he's done healing just about. He's only 60 gold away, so if he... Downside, he doesn't have Epicenter, but he's going to have it really, really quick this game. Maybe they can turn out a kill. We're going to see this once again. Gets gone on here. Double Bracer. Magic Stick. Gets right-clicked about. They do actually focus on the Sentry, and unfortunately, actually, the sickest thing they did was he burrowed away from Yuar when he Burrow Strike. That meant the Rocket Barrage ran out, not doing damage while he was stunned. That was actually really crucial. If he burrows on a gyro and tries to channel, he dies before he gets his ulti off. He doesn't get a double kill. So really nicely done by Luki there.
Ponlo does get spotted out here by Lisa. He's gonna pop those sprites again, but Lisa giving some chase here.
He's just messing with them, just makes them waste a little bit of time. This is always good to do if you have a survivable support like this. Walk in, make him run at you a little bit, then you walk away. You get vision, you know where he's jungling. You maybe don't get your chance to put a ward down or whatever that you were planning to do there, but yeah. Stonebake on the top lane, 53 last sets versus Tide's 79. That means Kazu is owning. There are a lot of skeleton kills actually, so he's actually pretty dead even, but...
There's quite a few people in this top lane as well, so... You got the Satyr Tormentor. Okay, they'll take down. Lisa's gonna follow up, and again, these sprites not gonna be able to heal quite fast enough, as they do have 3 now in this top area.
Bloody 9 just pumping mana into his team here. 3 points, Nova, it's the way to go. Slows down the tower pushes, gives your ability much more spam. They did buff this recently, does more attack speed slow, up to 75. So that'll be really good against these right clickers as the game continues.
An early Blink Dagger, though, on the Sand King is going to put pressure on that map. And, you know, he is one of those big initiators. It's always nice to be able to follow up with your Storm Spirit, or vice versa. Yeah, go for the start fake pumping it. Use the Burrow Strike over onto Kazu.
This Observer where they had spotted him, actually. I don't know if they're going to figure that out where it was, but... Okay, they're going to glyph. This is where Luki gets dived. He doesn't have mana for his ulti, though. Okay, he doesn't.
No, they do have the Ravage, too, if they want to commit it. And there's going to be some teleports in. They'll go and they'll drop the Serpent Wards. Ponlo sitting very, very low. The Ravage won't get used. They'll end up losing Ponlo. And Luki, again, is going to be able to survive. Over on the side, the Milan does have the Shackles. You guys are looking for this opening over for Yaren. Milan trying to fight here, does have the help of those wards, so both of them will fall. Some tower damage will get placed.
No experience for Yarn. Yeah, should be a dead tower. They're all going to retreat from it. Considering how close that was, not bad. Luki stays alive, doesn't use his ulti because it wasn't probably going to produce anything anyways.
Bottom lane, they're going to start making moves over to Stonebake, and they just blow him up. My goodness. Zip forward though from Ray-Lalisa. Okay, they're gonna get to disable over onto the Storm. You are. He's gonna just go try to put out that rocket barrage. He's got the Skelly boys chasing after him.
No wonder he got on. Spirit Vessel already on Quinn here. Uses it with the shards there, kills Wraith King really easily. And because he died in the previous fight, no reincarnation. But this is one of those moments where they just got a little outmaneuvered. They spent so much time sort of defending top that then they weren't actually pressuring the offlane as effectively as they needed to. Quincy crew identifies that, and they just kill Wraith King.
Sit forward from Ray-Lalisa, the burrow strike with the Epi, jumping over onto Quinn, dragged back with the Vortex. They've got Dust, they'll turn back, run a little bit more damage over to Quinn, they'll find it, but Kazu making his own rotation. In comes Crystal Maiden, and Ponlo also making his way over. We'll get the Frostbite off, and there it is, there's that ultimate, followed up with the burrow strike. It's a decent amount of damage, should be enough to take out Ponlo. They don't have to worry about...
Oh, Yuar's here.
Oh, Yuar is here, and he's going to get dragged back by Ray-Lalisa. Okay, good disruption coming out from Yarn. Gonna buy just a bit more time, make sure that they can pop him. And the burrow strike as they chase after the Tide Hunter, the ball lightning forward. He's already popped that hood. They need a little bit more damage. They've got to try to catch him here. Bloody 9 running, but again, Crystal Maiden's so very slow. They're gonna have the burrow in a second, though. Lukey going for the burrow, and Yarn gets himself a double kill as Quinn teleports down to the bottom area, throws out a tornado. There's no mana left on most of these guys, so Lukey looking like he's going to finally fall after evading death multiple times with Yarn. Getting into position again, and back around, trying to get some of these body blocks off. Follow up with the Deafening Blast.
Oh, maybe one ult too far.
And they might be able to get the kill on Yarn as well. So they have the Spirit Vessel charge, and that's a double kill now for Invoker.
It was hard for them to stick around and continue. Crystal Maiden was close to getting another spell again, but she's casted tons, right? Tons of spells. She started with the Tide kill, basically, the ulti as well, and then the chase, and then they did as much as they could, but definitely overdid a bit. In fact, Bloody Knight even bought a Null Talisman this game. It is not common for a 5 to buy a Null, but this game it feels pretty good. The pressure they're putting on is solid. It's going to lower his mana costs. Keep in mind, it's going to give more mana regen, and keep in mind when he casts spells, he gets mana back as well. So it's kind of like cheating a little bit. He gets 2 ways to lower mana costs without it stacking negatively. So get that Arcane Aura up, and his team is going to continue running at opponents.
Pressure on now from Quincy as they do manage to flush through the jungle, push back Ray-Lalisa. They'll get a little bit of a D-ward here as the Hellbear Smasher will start putting some pressure. They'll drop the Serpent wards. Lukey considering going in. Trying to find the opening. The dust comes into place. So follow up with Tornado, EMP, a little bit of a rocket, a little bit of a call down, and a little bit of dead Lukey.
That was a nice kill. Dust gets spot, crappy burrow strike defensively, of course, but he's trying to get away before he got cold snapped. Quinn catches him, and they get a nice kill. Big pickup. In the meantime, Wraith King's doing great, actually. He's top net worth despite some of the earlier difficulties, but he's 0-4-1 currently. Armlet's finished. He's going back towards Deso. This is the standard Wraith King build that we had for quite a while. We've seen some weirder ones lately, most notably Nico Baby on Alliance, but Yarn looking dead again.
Yeah, he just happened to wander into Milan over here, so.
With that said, his net worth is not terrible. He's got Aether Lens, he's got a Keen Optic, but they don't have the best frontliners on the squad. They don't really have good frontliners that like look for heroes and aren't scared if they get caught. Sand King does that a little bit, but it's not the same as like a Tide Hunter who's got a hood and stands places aggressively. But Kezu going for a fast pipe this game. I love talking about pipe. I think it's a great item. Is being really appreciated lately. The magic resistance you get from hood got nerfed again. It's only 18% now. Pipe gives your hero 30%, and it puts a 12% aura on top of that, which just massively increases your team's survivability against magic damage. And if you look at the DogChamp lineup, with the exception of Wraith King and some components of right-click on Storm, there's a lot of magic damage coming from DogChamp. So this fast pipe is going to make it so much easier for him to frontline.
Got smoke over on Ray-Lalisa. They'll let the Sand King lead the charge. Zip in first, though, from Ray-Lalisa. Turn back around. Again, he has that hood. There's a nice burrow strike, but the shackles will land. Kezu starts winding up. They've used the epicenter. They'll end up taking down Kezu as a step forward over onto Milan. And now they'll use the Crystal Maiden ulti, but Ray-Lalisa needs to be careful. Is he going a bit too far? Lukey again is sitting so very low. Eventually, though, he will fall.
Nice dodge there. Yeah, a little too much damage for Lukey to survive, but a great epicenter.
Zip forward. Hi, Ponlo. Bye, Ponlo.
Oh, he gets the haste. Are they going to pressure more with this? Doesn't have enough mana necessarily, but yeah,
he goes, he pops it.
The tornado's ready.
Back in. The chase is on.
Oh,
the zip forward over onto Yuar, but they follow up. There's just so much much damage, plus that Spirit Vessel. Have to be so careful of the Sunstrike. That was just a little bit too fast. They're sending out the courier over here trying to keep tabs as well. Stomach joining in, but they'll get the kill at Yarn.
Oh, saves the courier.
And the Hex coming on in. They drop the Serpent Wards. They drop the nukes. They've got the Shackles. Bloody Nine can't do a bloody thing here. He's just going to have to watch the Wraith King fall the first time. Can they provide any sort of assistance in the second? No, they use the Ravage. It's been so long they have another Ravage up. And they'll just erase Stonebank. Are they going to go after Bloody Nine, though, is the question. Nah, they'll back off. They're happy with this.
I thought maybe they could keep him alive with the Nova for the attack speed reduction, but with the Ravage contribution, it was just way too much damage there. So game very even. I mean, we've had 17 and 16 kills. It's a huge amount right now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely picked up in speed. Absolutely.
Tide is insanely tanky though. Soul Ring, Phase Boots, Pipe, +4 armor from the Broom Handle. He covers both bases. It's like impossible to kill this Tide. It takes a lot of resources with the pipes, so bursting him down is tough. If they get Ags on Shadow Demon, very different, because then you're getting long duration break. That will give them a nice solution, but until then, difficult. Storm jumps in with defending the ward, kills the courier, spotting things out. Sunstrike just making sure they didn't reward. It is gone.
I do like the fact that Shadow Demon is working on getting that shard. That seems to be one of the next items on his list. Having that demonic cleanse is going to be very nice.
Yeah, it is quite good. Stuff to dispel. Enchant, I guess, is one. Cold Snap and Spirit Vessel is probably the biggest one. Gush is the other, but probably Spirit Vessel. There's an Orchid on Invoker as well. So those items are the most dangerous without a doubt. If you can cast it on Wraith King or Storm Spirit when they go in, completely different circumstances, because the only disable they would be able to get him with, Ravage, Hex, or Shackles, cannot be dispelled. So great things that could catch Storm or the other targets, but if he just keeps Spirit Vessel off Wraith King, his life is going to go a lot farther, and his Deso is coming.
Oh, they spot Quinn thanks to that sentry. There's a 4 from Ray Lalisa. Should be able to burst down the Invoker super quickly here.
Good start, and with the Deso coming, they could take this tower pretty fast. There's no buyback on Quinn here.
There's no Ravage for another 30-something seconds either, so the Skelly boys getting summoned. The fortification comes out, though, as the rest of DogChamp get themselves in a nice position. Again, they know that Tidehunter is not going to be able to use this Ravage. They go for the call down, though, try to push them away. The Hex being dropped, as well as these swords. Zip forward, a little bit of a disruption, buying some more time, but Stonebank is caught over here on the side as Milan is getting chased after. But over on the side, Stonebank, he's still alive. Milan, the Hex comes out. Ponlo trying to follow up. Can they get the kill over onto Storm? They do manage to get the reincarnation as Milan does fall. You are already falling in the follow-up over onto Ponlo. It's a big head from Stonebank.
I like that he spun in the air before he killed him there. That was very, very stylistic. And instantly into the Roche pit. There is Ravage available. Tidehunter instantly hitting the base. Oh, he's buying a TP. He's got 20 seconds till TP. I don't know if they can get here in time.
Oh, Blood!
Stonebank wanted to let him die. He's like, hey, this will be funny. Great.
Yes, I'm sure that's exactly what he was thinking. Is that what you think whenever you let me die in these games?
Every time.
You son of a
look, people sleeping on Bloody Nine in some cases and sleeping on CM. He's having a really good game though. Like, I do not blame him for going greedy here. He got the Null Talisman. He's like, dude, I'm gonna be so greedy on my position. I'm buying a Null Talisman. But now he's like, I'm gonna freaking BKB. He doesn't have to worry about stuns. He presses it. He presses his ulti. It's gonna lower attack speed by 60 for his ultimate, which is again incredible considering what he's up against. Plus Nova, that's 75. Like, attack speed reduction has been getting buffed on so many heroes in the last year or two. And here's that fight once again. There's a 6 stack of Shadow Poison that does 1,000 magic damage to Tide. He doesn't feel comfortable staying in the fight because of this. Allows Stonebank to get in there. It allows Storm to hit the backline without fear of Ravage. Yarn and him do eventually pick up Milan, but Milan made it hard. Bought a lot of time. And in the meantime, Gyro gets cleaned up in the south of this fight with the Sand King and the other heroes chasing, and then they end up getting to collapse on Ponlo as well. So game's going really solid for DogChamp considering the status of Quincy crew.
That's a 25% chance that Lacoste threw out there.
It's looking higher than 25 right now.
Looking good, yeah. Some more posturing around this middle tower. They do have to be careful this time. They do have the Ravage. And again, Tide is a very tanky boy, so definitely not going to be able to burst him that easily, as Stonebank does pick up a Blink Dagger, and we have a BKB now on Storm, which will be huge.
It will be, yeah. Especially when he jumps on Shaman. He's going to wait to see Shaman, and he's going to fly, and he's going to kill that guy. Nothing he can do about it. As long as he BKBs appropriately, everything will be fine. If he BKBs ahead of time, he's going to be able to do ball remnant hits a couple times, maybe even save a stun, which could be pretty powerful, because then he can use it on another important hero like Invoker, or maybe even killing Ponlo. But Ponlo's real tanky right now. He's got Cloak, and he's got a Nether Shawl. Huge magic resistance from him. He knows what he's up against.
That Stonebank is just feeling that confident. He just walks right up to the tower, slaps it a couple times.
He's got Blink, though. He can force a fight if he sees a hero. He's going to see Kezu, but that's not the guy he wants to go on.
No one is showing, really, on the side of Quincy Crew, though. I feel like that's got to give him a little bit of pause. Other than Kezu, right? Kezu is just large and in charge on the map right now.
Despite Yarn's laning stage deaths, which again were a bit from a matchup disadvantage here, he's doing a great job casting spells.
They sees Ponlo. Throw this little catcher out. The Hex coming into play, though. They drop the wards. Good disruption coming up from Yarn to buy a bit more time. And the Yules over the back lines. Looks like they should be able to go. They just rip apart Milan, but it's a good Ravage, so they end up losing Luki. It's going to be the buyback now coming out for the Shadow Shaman. The drag forward by Ray Lalisa's popped that BKB as UR pops his own. Stonebank's sitting a little bit low, but he's coming back up for round number 2. Ray Lalisa needing a bit of help here. He doesn't have a lot of mana available. So they use the Hex, they'll use a nuke. They need to do a little bit more here. Ray Lalisa crawling, trying to get away. Does have just enough mana to be able to ball up to the high ground, but Kezu's so fast, chasing after him now. He just picked up that Blink Dagger, but it's not there just yet. So there's the gush, and Ray Lalisa, he's trying everything now. Can he get out in time? Is he going to be able to
he's going in.
Stonebank jumps back in onto the back lines, up at the stump, coming up the center. They go there to take UR. Ray Lalisa, he's going to fall eventually, but they managed to get the kill on UR. Totally worth it. And now Stonebank chasing after Kezu, looking for some big hits. Does have to be careful though. Ponlo's here. He's got the sprites. He's going to heal him right back up again.
Great job by the Storm. Dodges the missile. Ooh,
Ponlo, yeah, he's chasing after him. Those sprites are real nice, but not going to be enough against this Deso Armlet Wraith King.
It's up to 14 damage on his Deso already. That you get 2 per kill, so he's been in a huge amount of kills since he picked this baby up.
Been 47 kills in a 23-minute game so far.
It's been a fun one, that's for sure. But really nicely done there by Storm to elongate that chase. A little bit of mana was good too. This was the start, some good damage to open up on Ponlo, but they were really ready for this. The disruption was helpful. It dodges the missile. It buys them a little time here with the Yules as well. Also allowed Wraith King to hit that backline. That was actually a really nice setup here. Kills Shadow Shaman, forces the buyback. He cleans up Ponlo. He's a great counter to that. And then they're able to use BKBs with the stun follow-up to guarantee Invoker's death. Takes Quinn out of the fight here. They use Shadow Demon ulti to make sure Yor's BKB is basically wasted. And then Ray Lalisa using his magic wand here to elongate this. He always waited till the last possible moment to jump out, which was so good. Part of the reason that he's able to make them chase so long. In the live game, we did have Yor popping a BKB. I didn't see what happened. I assume it was a fight. We'll never know.
You hope that it was a fight and he didn't just fat finger the BKB.
I mean, the man's down to his 6-second BKB already.
There's been a lot of fighting, to be fair.
Been a lot of fighting, yeah.
He's working on the Agnum Scepter, but there's a smoke here coming out from the side of DogChamp. They can see Ponlo over on the low ground. Luki backing off. Playing around a little bit. Again, finds himself a Ponlo. It's a good EMP tornado. It's not going to be enough to save the deer, though, so Enchantress will die.
She seems quite vulnerable here. I mean, he did give up his cloak that lowered his armor, because it seems like the clear problem is the Wraith King's physical damage. I mean, part of it's a level disadvantage here, of course, but yeah, he's getting picked off. The magic damage that he was a bit afraid of just hasn't felt like that big of a deal, and he's the vulnerable one right now. Shaman and him both kind of squishy. Kezu's tanky. He's also picked up a plate mail. Perfect itemization defensively for how Tide needs to play, but until Gyro gets like another item on top of Ags, I'm not super confident in his damage output. Makes the game kind of hard, and even when he gets it, they're still playing up against a Shadow Demon who's pretty much going to always Demonic Purge him. He's only 1,400 gold from his Ags, and then he's going to have 3 Demonic Cleanses and 3 Demonic Purges. It just becomes so powerful in the mid game. In terms of damage, or in terms of like disable output and anti-disable.
All right, well, they did just get the Blink Dagger picked up for Milan, so perhaps hoping that someone will appear, and they do see the Shadow Demon, so Yarn. There's the disruption, has already been used, so they'll throw out the silence. They'll be able to go and drop the Spirit Vessel on him, so they'll be able to get rid of that save that they've been having difficulties with, and perhaps they'll find something more.
And very wise of Milan to not jump in there. He needs to wait and sit and look for the Storm Spirit or somebody else that's really important. They don't have wards, though, while they get aggressive here. They don't see the enemy squad. Smoke breaks now.
He's
Okay,
gonna find him. So, drop the Serpent Wards, drop the Shackle. Stonebank jumping onto the other side. Zip forward, though, coming out from Ray Lalisa. They'll be able to take down Milan, turning their attention now to Bloody 9. It's a good burrow strike, though, with the Epi to be able to take down Quinn. Zip forward, back over onto Kazu. Big damage coming out from Stonebank. That's a double kill for the Wraith King, and he's hopping down, seeing if he can grab anyone else.
Stonebank owning that team fight there. In the right place at the right time, jumps in, stops the stun on Storm. They give Storm's BKB, and then he gets to just win the fight. They instantly kill Shaman. The Serpent Wards are wasted. The epicenter comes in by Luki. DogChamp was super ready for that engagement. Little creep here, no problem. A little bit of extra food for them. And they should be able to get rushed from this. It's looking good for DogChamp.
You can see a little bit of a replay of how that all went down. They happen to walk right in, and then, you know, Stonebank, he comes up from the other side. A couple big hits will remove Milan. But yeah, look at that damage.
Ravage catches Bloody 9 and disables Stonebank for a moment, but they just don't care. I mean, they lose both supports, but this was an utter defeat for Quincy crew, losing 3 big heroes here. Only guy that survived was Gyro. And it took a long time to kill CM as well, by the way. The BKB's almost up. He's only 150 gold away from it on Bloody 9. So, kind of curious what he'll do for the 15 talent. Almost always go Crystal Nova cooldown myself, but it might be worth being able to pump mana into his allies this game due to the Storm Spirit. And in some cases, the Wraith King. I think this is a good game for it. If they have mana drain, that's like one of the few times I feel like I could justify that skill. Every time he casts a spell, he could give his allies 44 mana. That's a huge amount.
You gotta be able to survive long enough, right?
That's
the trick to that.
Stand nearby and cast Nova on the ground. Give your allies mana, no problem. If you really need it.
Good deny of double damage rune. Don't want to let that end up in the hands of DogChamp as they go for a smoke play here. There's going to be Milan that gets spotted. He blinks away very, very quickly. The zip coming through. Ray Lalisa is found and even pops the BKB to make sure that he doesn't get stopped here on his murderous rage.
Yeah, he had to do this because if he jumps into the whole team like that and gets hexed, he just dies right away, loses Aegis. So it would have been a big bummer.
Hey there, Bonlo. That was some damage. Oh my god.
That is the physical burst here. Oh, he doesn't actually have
They
boots
just
yet.
keep on smoking. This train doesn't stop.
They are going to run out soon, but they're in a great position. 150 gold for Mags on Shadow Demon.
2 BKBs just got dropped for them, dude.
That is very good. Who got the second one? The CM one?
CM and Luki.
Yeah, they know they're mega strong against their opponents, and it's going to be a
10K.
while. As long as they don't let Gyrocopter get a couple items up on them, they should be fine. But Stonebank is still ahead in net worth. 8, 2, and 8. He grabbed Shard as well, so he doesn't have to worry about mana drain at all anymore. He sold his Soul Ring. He's going to rely on CM mana regen and his Shard. That's looking great. Quinn split pushing a little bit. Quinn did not go for a Midas, by the way. His net worth is pretty solid considering. He's been very active, but he has died a few times. But tower gets pressured bottom. That should die basically for free. DogChamp's not going to want to send anybody bottom to defend that. It's just not worth it. They want to control Tri-Camp and look for openings. And they take the mid-tier tower of their own in the meantime.
And basically for free. They didn't have any real harassment or anything coming out from the side of Quincy crew.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a long zip here from Ray Lalisa. So he's found himself pawn low, and he should be able to burst out. Okay, the rest of the team will show up and give some moral support.
I'm surprised he's able to kill him with as much attack speed as he has through the enchant ulti, but it's enough. Okay. Gonna see a pause here.
Like they're getting some lag again. I think Ray Lalisa was the one who was having issues in the first place. Couldn't tell though with that zip.
Yes, he just needs vision on the map, and then he's gonna go for somebody. That was a D ward there. Was that a sentry?
It was a
or was it
sentry.
a ward? That? Oh no, he did get a ward first. Ponlo first killed an observer ward, so he could probably see that there wasn't anybody super close to him, and that's why he went for that dive. If it was just a sentry, Ponlo probably doesn't hit it. Therefore, you could call it a mistake for him dying, but he killed a ward. Understandably that you're going to go for that, even if it's a little bit worrisome. He did get his heal off, but too much damage. Ponlo's 13 death now has such a good laning stage, but he is the guy to target in almost all these fights due to the nature of his hero. And usually you get pretty tanky, but because they're losing by a little bit too much, it's hard for his team to back him up. Normally it'd be worth it, but it's going to lead to him getting a lot of solo deaths, basically. And it's just kind of how it goes.
I feel like when there's a storm on the map and if he's starting to ball out of control, no pun intended, it just becomes so difficult to play any sort of support. In fact, this isn't even a support. Quinn's just going to have to BKB and leave. And Milan please don't look here. Please don't look here.
I was like, if Storm presses Remnant,
Yep.
he's going to...
Does not see him.
It's a cool place to stand, though. It's like a little bit of ward vision, basically. There's a really low chance that anybody gets vision there. They'd have to walk through the trees, or they'd have to get flying vision. So.
Yeah, he also has the blink dagger, so if they do turn around the corner to see him, if he's fast enough, he can just blink to the low ground. It's a bit difficult running from a storm, but for most heroes, you have to take that path, right?
Bloody 9 even pressuring mid a little bit with Nova. Doesn't necessarily have to show his hero much. Stonebank now pressuring top. He's queuing up Shadowblade. He's going to buy it now. He's got the cleave talent.
24.
Sorry?
24 charges on that Deso, dude.
It's almost at its maximum power level. Just needs one more assist or kill with the debuff. So yeah, he's hitting a bit hard. I love that he has Titan Sliver as well. It's a perfect item here. Some magic resistance against the magic nuke. The status resistance is great. Pretty solid damage here. Gives him about 28 here. Or 30 some damage. But now with the Shadowblade, he's got 2 ways to initiate. And pretty soon he's going to have a second way to break Tide. So this is the point of the game where Tide's really going to struggle. Kraken Shell's not going to do much from here on out, unfortunately for him. So he's just going to have to buy a lot of survivability items.
We've got the full Ags and Shard on the Shadow Demon. He is swagging out.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Very powerful. His ultimate does 700 damage, and Demonic Cleanse heals for 700 on allies.
That's so good.
It's really, really good. We've seen this episode before.
We found Bonlo. Not a lot of mana left over on Rayla Lisa, but
Now broken.
he is indeed. And soon his body will be broken too.
Yes. When he doesn't have his ultimate, much easier to kill him there. But Storm used a lot of mana to get this position. I mean, if he doesn't have a CM in this game, he's hurting a lot more from all this mana usage. But regen will help, certainly.
Aegis does indeed get reclaimed, so that does give Quincy a little bit of a window now. If they want to try to make something happen, they don't have to worry about the Aegis. In fact, they do smoke up over on the side of Quincy crew.
It's kind of interesting. A Paladin sword for the Storm Spirit.
Huh.
Don't see that too often. The spell
you
lifesteal is kind of cool. The regular lifesteal, sure, it's alright. There's probably better items, but maybe not better neutral items for their squad. So, yeah, and it's basically nothing better. Spider legs, the tier 2 items aren't really anything he wants badly, so kind of just a weird case where it's actually the best item he could use. Normal stuff.
Grouping up. Surprised if they went for a smoke or something, but nope, they're just sticking together as Quincy crew. Again, another smoke coming out for them. And they'll walk into Lukey. The blink forward here. He is pretty difficult to get their hands on. Still has the Burrow Strike if necessary. He's got his own BKB. He's got to turn back around. They want this fight here. Epicenter getting channeled up. They'll chase after Kazu over on the back line. So they find themselves pawnless. Bloody Nine's letting it go. Using that freezing field with the jump in over on the back lines. The Silas over onto Milan. He's going to fall. As the zip forward from Rayla Lisa. He wants Quinn. Do they have the vision, though? It's not looking like they do. So a nice hit strike retaliation coming out from the side of DogChamp, where Quincy crew tried to get the jump on them.
That was great. And I've actually played against, tied against CM before. It's a really annoying matchup because if CM is able to separate you from the fight, her abilities are so low cooldown that you're just constantly slowing and frostbiting Tide. He actually can't approach the fight. So even though he's tanky, it's a bad situation because you just can't get where you want to be on top of the enemy squad. No blink daggers, nothing.
Quinn trying to make something happen, trying to get this kill. We'll find it over onto Yaren, but there's a lot of damage coming out now from Rayla Lisa and Stonebank. The Ravage comes out. They turn it back around. They'll finally get the kill on Rayla Lisa. Stonebank, that's a big hit over onto Podlo. Needs to do just a little bit more, and he's got it on lockdown. Bloody Nine waiting nearby patiently. He's there to protect them if need be. The follow-up here from Kazu. They're going to buy back. The Burrow Strike, though, coming out. It's a decent amount of damage over onto Bloody Nine. He's not looking too healthy. He's going to fall, but you are sitting so very low. No. All right, they're going to come back up again with Stonebank. Lukey, though, with that BKB, will ensure that they get the kill on you are. The break applied over onto Kazu. He's going to fall next as Ponlo and Quinn run for their life. Lukey wants to get off enough damage over onto Ponlo. Wants to finish him off. Doesn't have the Burrow Strike. They get the final hit.
Nicely done by Luke. He slaps 2 creeps, then walks. The explosion blows up the creeps and damages Enchantress. Very nicely done. Stonebank just running in, fighting to the death with his huge net worth advantage now. Real struggle for Tide to play this match. They're going to re-engage.
Will they buy back on the gyro? Lukey might have overstepped a little bit here as he does get hexed up. And he does eventually fall for being perhaps just a bit too aggressive.
And he actually got a lot of gold back from that. 686 plus 600, so 900
Yeah,
gold
wow.
for Gyro. Not the worst. He spent about 1,600 on that, so it's still probably okay for DogChamp because there is no Roche. It's going to respawn in 30 seconds, though, so it actually might cost them. If Quincy is able to take Roshan with that death, that would be a big one. But Ravage eventually used there. We saw Kezu jump in earlier, pump fake it because he realized it would have been wasted. And ultimately, it looked good when they pick up the Storm, but this fight kept going. And they end up getting a lot of advantage out of it. Keep in mind that in the live game, Quincy Crew will know exactly when Roche is up due to the Forge Spirits. So with the rest of this fight here, fighting Ywar to the death, it looked pretty good for them at start, but Luki pops BKB, secures a lot of these kills. That two-man Burrow Strike was huge, and they're all taking Sandstorm damage this whole time. Here's that double creep hit that Luki goes for. Slaps one creep, slaps the second creep, pop, pop. Everything blows up. Really fun.
He looks like he's having a great time there.
He's like, that double kill got me good. I like that one. All right. Roche Control is the name of the game. Both teams are aware that it is up. Quincy Crew smokes 4. They are going to start it.
They're going right into the pit. I'm surprised that they... Okay, they dropped the wards.
I mean, they knew that it was there. They're fighting for D-ward control, but it's just
They gotta
dead.
get in there quickly. They're not gonna... They can't contest it, I think, fast enough. It's already gone. You are getting that Aegis.
And the shard, too.
And the shard.
So there is the penalty for Luki dying in that mid. That buyback ends up being absolutely worth it. It was a bit of a fast respawn, of course. But yeah, without Sand King being there, they could not contest it. And they did not even really try. So it was the right decision considering the circumstance. They're still very far ahead in net worth, but Gyrocopter is getting to the point where he's a little spooky. He was going to get Satanic. It looks like he's with the Aegis. He's decided I want damage instead, which is a good choice.
Yaren setting up here with Milan. They need a stun, and they have it.
Oh, he's dead. He went Shadow Poison cooldown this game as well, so... Yarn's doing a really good job with Shadow Poison, I gotta say. He seems very comfortable with the hero. In fact, he's bronze tier, extremely comfortable. But he's casting a lot of Shadow Poison. I'm seeing a lot of big stacks. Usually that spell kind of falls off, but he's doing a great job with it.
Yeah, his positioning has been very, very good. He's also got the Blink Dagger too, so it makes it even easier for him to find the right angles, and has some very good disruptions as well.
Yeah, he's been doing great. Laning stage was a struggle, but I think that was just one of those matchup things.
They can see Ponlo and they can see Quinn, and they're gonna zip immediately over onto Quinn. Yarn's there with the Purge. BKBs are coming out though. He's already applied the break.
And
They have the vision though, so they'll just break down and chase after Ponlo. Can they get the zip? Oh, they get the Burrow Strike. Oh, and they have lots of things to handle. This poor Enchantress.
That's a lot of dead heroes.
That is, and Stonebank was doing some business in their base, apparently.
Just by himself killing buildings.
Yeah,
All right.
cool.
And they can pressure bottom a little bit. They can't. Bot lane is pushed out, but mid lane is pushed in, meaning they're going to keep hitting creeps here. Instantly clear the creep whip, instantly beating up these buildings.
This is not how I'd expect this to go, considering, okay, that is the wards get dropped, so it's going to be the first death here on this Wraith. Coming back up again, he's going to blink away. Just force those wards out. All the call downs.
Don't see that one too often. Usually flat cannon cooldown a little prioritized, but hey, little team fight disruption, more damage in some ways with the triple cooldown. They do back them off. Wraith King died real quick that first one. He doesn't have that many survivability items other than BKB. A lot of offense here, which is why he died so easily, the first time at least. But game still continues well. He does have Leveler, by the way. That's part of the reason he probably shredded those mid buildings. 25% more damage. Plus gives him attack speed. I mean, he's close to 6-slotted. He's ready to sell his boots, basically, for Scotty, which is a great choice. That'll give him overall main advantage against Gyro. Can basically run him down. Maybe not when he sells his own boots, though. We'll see. And they're going to keep pushing.
Well, did anyone pick up the... No, they didn't. I was going to say, if you get those boots of bearing, or bongo boots as I like to call them, that can help with a little bit more of that speed, but no one has those. In fact, the Shadow Shaman has put such a priority, or not Shaman, I'm sorry, Shadow Demon has put such a priority on making sure that he gets the Shard and the Ags, that he's still rocking those brown boots.
And he got an Octane Core, actually, too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's real farmed.
Never mind.
He's got slightly more net worth than Tidehunter this game. Doing a great job. But again, you can farm really fast with this hero, especially at this phase of the game. And he has a CM, so he's had way more mana regen than normal.
That's true.
He's got a Spell Prism as well. His Shadow Poison is 0.8 seconds to cast it. It's very low. I don't know what his charge restore time is right now, but it's got to be low. Oh wait, I guess cooldown reduction doesn't stack. Or does it now? I can't remember.
It See a double damage bottled here? Yeah, there it is. Right, Lisa will pick it up. Stonebank is probably like, I have too much stuff in my inventory. It'll be good on you, Storm. Okay. How much longer do we have left on this Aegis? We've got about a minute left. Feels like DogChamp probably gonna dodge for a little bit. They do have the Swift Blink picked up over on the Wraith King. They do have to be mindful.
And they're definitely very down to fight. They just want to outweight the Aegis. Because they know they're quite ahead here. If they choke a fight and Gyro ends up staying alive and getting a bunch of kills, it's going to really change the trajectory of the game in a big way. So just a little farming for now while they outweight Aegis. And then they'll be happy to engage. The downside is this might buy enough time for Gyro to get a Satanic. That would make the fight even harder, but if they can hit the timing between Aegis being off cooldown and him getting Satanic, they will be happy. And it goes away in about 30 seconds here, so.
Well, they do have the Scotty available now over on the Wraith King too, so that should offset a little bit of that. But
oh, he sold Armlet for it. Okay, that makes sense. Because if you lose phase boots, then your mobility advantage is gone anyway. So this is a relatively good swap. He's going to definitely have less attack speed, less damage from Scotty, but his overall survivability is very high. Anti-healing will be good. It'll be really good against so many heroes.
He does have the speed too, because he does have the Swift Blink.
That's true.
So he does have multiple ways of kind of moving around in these areas of fights and whatnot. And the Aegis is now gone, so this window now opening for the side of DogChamp if they want to try to take advantage of this. And they do have vision. They have a ward over on the high ground here. Find themselves upon those. A 4 from Ray Lalisa.
That was cool.
Very nice setup.
Yarn gets one side of him, blinks in ulties, then he's not moving for a couple seconds. Storm gets this epic long zip in. And he's broken, so he's super easy kill. Ponlo is the guy to pressure, and DogChamp's doing a great job doing that. And now with that kill, now they cross the map. Ward and deward aggressively, control this tri-camp area, and maybe they're just going to play slow until next Roche, and then take it with their map advantage. It's a real possibility here.
Would you prefer to see them play a bit more cautiously, or would you rather see them continue with this momentum?
I think it's great now that they have momentum to play cautiously, if that makes sense. Momentum into cautious play on the enemy side of the map to prevent them from getting Roche. Milan's going to move forward.
Oh, he's got to be so careful here.
Well, they're going to see that sentry go down. They're going to know there's a smoked hero. Maybe they didn't notice. They haven't pinged, they haven't moved towards it. His sentry definitely spots it, but maybe they thought it was... Sometimes you don't see it if it's a sentry. If it's a ward, it kind of like sticks out to you like, oh my god, they're smoked, but they don't realize.
These supports are so wealthy. Like this Crystal Maiden just bought... Not only does this Crystal Maiden have a BKB and a Null Talisman, she's got herself a Blink Dagger. And look at her aspirational goals now. She's also got a Heaven's Halberd queued up.
At him. Ooh, they might go.
They will indeed.
Great
that
Lincoln.
Lincoln's popping. They already dropped the wards. A follow-up to the zip in. Beautiful epicenter with the Burrow Strike. Just jumping on everyone. It's going to be the first time coming over here. The chase back over. Big chops taking out Pawn, though. Bloody Nine falls over on the back. And the Ravage has been used. Lukey, he's going to fall. So they do buy back over onto Pawn, though, and they can find Yarn. Yarn's going to buy himself just a little bit more time here using that disruption, but Quincy bites back with a vengeance.
It looked kind of good. They got a lot of damage there, but the initial Hex on Wraith King kind of shut things down a bit because he wasn't able to get a kill right at the start of the fight. The turn Hex from Milan was great. They kill Milan, and there was a great epicenter, but just too much damage response.
He was not expecting that Lincoln's to be placed on him from the gyrocopter.
Yeah, that was really nicely done by War there.
Very fast fingers.
Keeping him alive, so...
Think about how different that goes if he does get stunned up immediately.
It could be very different, yeah. He gets killed, the Wraith King can move to the next guy while Ravage comes out, probably is a threat to either Invoker or maybe Enchantress gets killed really easily. And now Roche could respawn in 16 seconds. We'll see how fast it comes out.
Okay, popping the Lincolns over on Quinn. They've got the lockdown, they've got the damage, and they've killed Quinn. And a lot of tips coming out here from the DogChamp.
That was a big one, right? Because if Roche respawns anytime soon, let's see what the respawn will be. It is going to be a extremely long respawn, almost 3 minutes, as long as it could possibly be. So lucky there for Quinn. After getting killed. But ultimately a good kill. Ray Lalisa ends up picking up a late game Orchid for a transition here because he needed a way to break Lincolns that wasn't pull. You do not want to... Stuns are just better than silences when you're up against BKB. So he jumps in, breaks Lincolns with Orchid, then he pulls. Stonebank gets the follow-up. A much easier way to kill a hero.
27k net worth lead going over to the side of DogChamp. And they're going to keep just checking in over on the Roche. They'll find the Centaur. They'll make sure that they can take him out.
So hopefully for DogChamp, they can turn this kill into more aggressiveness, but they're kind of offsetting the map, getting pressured in, and they're not currently in the right place to get grabs either. I like that Shadow Shaman has got Ninja Gear this game, though. He knows he's the most vulnerable hero. If he just runs around invisible all the time, it's going to be a lot safer for him. And by invisible, I mean smoke. No one's going to see him. He's more
well, they will, but
protected against wards. Once he gets close, once he kind of chooses. He's also got the Timeless Relic. More Disable is great for hexes and shackles on top of that. But he'll go split push a little bit in the meantime. Got to be careful not to get spotted.
Milan is like the basic disable that can be applied in those wards to quite a lot in these fights. We've seen what he can do if he gets the jump down and isn't immediately eradicated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can help a lot.
Everyone just playing it cool though, waiting for the next Roche spawn. What other items do we have coming up here for people? It's like we're going to see Boots of Travel for the Shadow Demon. That's how you know that the game's going extremely well.
Yes, he's very farmed. Doesn't want to buy out just yet, though. We'll see. But with Milan playing like this with the smoke or the Ninja Gear, it's actually so easy for him not to get spotted because he's nuking while invisible. So he doesn't necessarily have to show. And the uptime of the smoke is pretty high, I believe. So.
Well, Satanic available now for Gyrocopter. Seen some updates for any of these guys though in a little bit. Do have that gem over on Tide.
Having Trickster Cloak and Shiva's Guard is great for Tide though. His defensiveness is very multi-dimensional. Still waiting for Roche here. 30 seconds left. They know it's going to be up soon, but...
Oh, they find the Tide Hunter, though. That would be a great find for them if they can just burst him down before he can get the Ravage off the drag back. The Vortex dragging from the high ground, too. They'll be able to take down Ponlo. Looky, buys back. He's already fallen here. As Milan sitting very, very low. Needs a couple more of these clicks. They'll find it. Disruption coming into play over to Stonebank, trying to keep him alive for as long as possible. That is going to be the reincarnation. It's the rest of the team. Do they go back in? Do they chase after? They probably don't want to fight underneath those wards, but you can see Luki. He's itching for a fight. They make their way over into the pit. It's still not up just yet. There it is, though. There's their prize. They don't have to worry about the Serpent Wards. They don't have to worry about Shadow Shaman or Ponlo. They still have the Ravage, though. They have to be aware of that. But the BKBs are back up. Rayla Lisa's going to continue to try to keep some tabs, try to disable any sort of blinks that might come in towards the area. And it looks like Quincy, they're just not even going to bother.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, this is something that we talked about earlier in the cast, but has been ignored in the last couple engagements. Like, Tide is very, very vulnerable to Shadow Demon ulti, and something so simple as an SD ult and an Orchid means Tide dies. Because every other hero has some, like, BKB to defend themselves. They get gone on, they press BKB. But Tide was just useless there in that circumstance. They had vision advantage, they ulti him, easy kill. They spot Tide, there's the ulti, he's broken. Here's Brute, Hex, Orchid, instant death for Tide.
The Vortex pulling Ponlo from the...
Yes, Ponlo's like, not me too.
No!
So yeah, even though they lose Sand King on the back and they lose Wraith King's ultimate, they also clean up Milan. Makes the fight easy. BKBs get used on the Quincy Crusade. They lose a Wraith King ulti. That's not that bad for them. So they get the Aegis, they get the Refresher Shard. I did not see who got it. Let's see. Refresher Shard on Sand King will be very good.
Luki's been on point with a lot of these Burrow Strike epis.
He has, yeah. Helps when his team has been pretty aggressive. Like, everybody's got magic immunity based on his squad, so he doesn't necessarily have to be the first guy that goes in. That helps a lot because oftentimes if you're the initiator, you see an opportunity, you gotta blink Burrow. You don't have time to channel ulti. But now they get to play second. It's very different.
Bloody Knight was like, oh hell no.
I mean, he can't get Hex there. He potentially dies, but
he's gotta be careful he doesn't stick around too long though.
That's true.
Still about a couple seconds. There's a storm nearby though to protect Bloody Nine. Lord knows we've seen Rayla Lisa come from the other side of the map, just zipping on through. Middle lane, Luki's going a little bit far here. All right.
Good escape there. A little defensive there. Removes the Cold Snap and the Spirit Vessel again. Sand King's very, very tanky here.
Oh, they gave the Refresher Shard actually to the Shadow Demon.
What? Oh, the demon. I thought you said Shaman. I was like, to the enemy team?
They're like, hello, would you like this present?
Would you like 6 ultimates and 6 defensive demonic cleanses? Yes, I would. The old 2100 heal for your allies times 2. Yeah, that's good. It's a good shard game for the demon.
That is a double damage over on Stonebank. He's just praying somebody pops out of this base. They do have a sentry ward down, though, so they can keep tabs. NATO just barely going to miss here. The EMP should connect. Smoke play the dive forward, though. The Vortex over onto the 2 cores. The follow-up with Rose Strike, but they have the BKBs. They try to stay alive a little bit longer. Bunch of call-downs coming on hot. And down will go Ponlo. The break, the bash, the disables. They follow up with the Ravage, and they finish them off. They need just a little bit more damage. He's still alive. There it goes. He will fall. The buyback coming out now from Gyros. The silence gets placed over onto the Shaman. Vortex coming out from Ray Lisa. That's so much damage that they're dishing out. To be able to take down Kezu, they take down Milan. The break getting applied yet again over here onto UR Stonebank, just dishing out these hits. A disruption comes out, buying just a bit more time, just in time for him to pop.
That game is over. DogChamp taking the victory.
Let me
making Lacoste eat his words. Yo, they played really, really solid. They did something slightly creative with the Crystal Maiden pick, and it totally worked out. The laning stage was pretty solid for him. The mid game was really solid. The late game, like CM jumped in that fight and BKB ultied on top of the enemy